Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Saturday, December 12th, 11:46 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. Bitcoin Daily View, go there, bitcoindailyview.com. Got cool stuff there. All right, check this out. Bitcoin right now in the green of almost 4% last 24 hours, coming in at 18,589. That is beautiful. We have a green market. We got light green, we got dark green, we got olive drab. One of my favorite colors, believe it or not. And so the market in general is green, looking good. Unless you're XRP, then life is awful. You're down almost 12% last 24 hours easily, coming in at 50 cents. It wasn't that long ago before 55 cents was that bounce point people were buying, going, yeah, moon. Well, it didn't go that way. So anyhow, we'll look at XRP's chart because this is extraordinary. The market's doing so great and XRP is doing so badly. All right, Bitcoin trading volume last 24 hours is $1.4 billion. Most of that by far on Binance. So what is the sentiment on Binance? 65% long, 34% short. So the sentiment is long on Binance. We'll skip the traditional markets. They ain't open. So 45-minute chart for Bitcoin versus USD. Recently we got this beautiful bounce off the .236 fib, and I'll show you how I drew that in just a sec. But basically, we had a nice beautiful bounce, and we are now challenging the 200 moving average, the white one right there. We just crashed through that, no problem. Now we're finding a bit of resistance at the 314. If we can get above that, boom, Lambo time. With that said, green directional index, ADX at 38, that's wonderful. RSI moving up, got room to go up. KRI is positive. So this is a wonderful, wonderful chart. Bitcoin is back in the running. It's back in Lambo mode. All right, and so check this out. I went back to where Bitcoin broke on the 4-hour chart, where it had a strong break above the 200 moving average back on October 8th. And I kind of drew this fib retracement up to the high since then, of course. And look at that. This is the 200 moving average right here. We've had two recent bounces off of that, even though one did get a body candle below it. We've had two bounces. We just bounced once again, and this is looking powerful on the 4-hour chart. Have a beautiful green candle. There's some volume coming in, some bias coming in. We're getting some movement upwards for sure. Directional index on the 4-hour chart here is a bit on the red side, but it's definitely trending towards the green. No time at all, we'll see a green candle. ADX is positive, but going the wrong way. We should see a turnaround here around 36, 37, and boom, we're good to go. The RSI is definitely at the top, but it can certainly go sideways for quite a while. KRI is positive. So beautiful, beautiful chart. Note here on the 4-hour chart, when this line here, the light green one, the 200 EMA is above the 200 SMA. So 200 SMA is the white one, 200 EMA is the green one. When 200 EMA is above, we're positive. Powerful Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. When the 200 EMA is below the 200 SMA, then we're a little bit weak. So as you can see, we got a bit weak. Anyway, I'm looking to see that cross above. We have a beautiful green candle right now on the 4-hour chart. Things are looking good. If we go back to the 45-minute chart and look at these indicators, I mean, powerful directional index, powerful ADX, RSI is in the right spot, KRI is in the right spot. We are definitely challenging the 314 moving average now. We broke above the 200 moving average. Boom, looking good. Slight resistance here at the 314. Let's see what happens. But basically, we are bouncing off a fib line. We are bouncing off where we would expect to bounce off. 45-minute chart looks good. And the 4-hour chart looks wonderful too. We're bouncing where we would expect. Bouncing powerfully. I like it. Ethereum USD looks a lot like the Bitcoin chart. It's had two recent bounces at the same time, and it is basically moving up now. KRI here on the, directional index is in the red, but it's moving towards the positive. ADX is in a good spot if it turns up. RSI is high. And the KRI is definitely in the green, looking good. So 4-hour chart, powerful for Ethereum. It's basically doing what Bitcoin's doing. Although if you look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, it is just a rocket ship to hell. It just can't stop dumping. On the 45-minute chart, we're below the 200 moving average. You really want to be above the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart before you trade anything. Not financial advice, of course, entertainment purposes only, as always. Anyway, we're seeing a bit of an uptick after a long wick towards the downside. We are seeing some upwards momentum here on the 45-minute chart. The ADX is going in the right direction. Needs to get above 25. Right now it's at 18. And it may not be too long before, well, we are beginning to see a a trend towards the positive on the directional index. RSI is good, KRI is red, but if we get above the 200 moving average, we're going to be good here on the 45-minute chart. Ethereum BTC would be a great play if it would just start playing. As we can see, downwards channel on the 4-hour, but check this interesting little bit out right here. This wick on the 4-hour wicked right to the 200 moving average. Are we going to see a bounce? RSI on the 4-hour chart is in a great turn-up spot. Directional index, it's not lending towards green yet, but the ADX is in the right spot. Or getting close. KRI is in the red. I mean, maybe we're going to see a bounce, a wick bounce off the 4-hour chart, off the 200 moving average. That might be darn spiffy interesting. It's a Lambo play. I'd like it to be at least, but it needs to get some self-confidence. Litecoin versus USD. It dumped below 200 moving average for a little while here on the 4-hour chart, but now it's challenging and it's just now breaking above. Directional index is trending towards positive, but not positive yet. RSI is high. KRI is in the green. XRP versus USD. Okay, let's look at this. See if there's any hope for all the lost souls out there who are XRP people. So I did a fib basically based on the last powerful break above the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart up to this beautiful crazy wick we had here. And if you look at this chart, I'm seeing some good things right now for XRP. So here's the deal: XRP versus USD. We've been kind of hanging around, working this support and resistance, but we broke below that for sure. But check this out. The 618 fib line, that's where I would expect a bounce. You either bounce there or it's done. It's over. But if you bounce there, you bounced in a powerful spot. You've definitely gotten rid of, the negative side of a pump. Now it's time to move back up. So we haven't seen a body below the 618 yet, and we're just seeing some wicks below it. The 200 moving average is right below that. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So XRP had this crazy ass pump. Everybody was happy, elated. Hopes and dreams had come true. But unfortunately, I didn't expect this dump, but it certainly has happened. But check it out, 618. If you can bounce off the 618 here at 50 cents, I'm telling you what, I mean, rocking through that, even if you get to the .5 fib line, that's like 58 cents. So anyway, possible Lambo play. Not financial advice, people. Absolutely not. But what I can tell you is, myself, putting in a stop right below this 200 moving average, and which is right about 46 cents. Give it a little bit of room to play, or go right to about 47. Tight stop, and boom. If this guy starts moving up, definitely it's got some room to move. I mean, I'm kind of waiting for a more substantial, maybe if we can get this candle to close in the green, and we can get another candle to close above it. The body started at the top of this one. I just need to see a bit more confirmation here in the candles right now. I mean, some would say this is a hammer, some would say this is a hammer. Hard to tell. Let's see what this next 4-hour candle is, because if we can see some upwards momentum starting here, it is right at a bounce point, which is definitely one of the rocket ship to Pluto moon shots that it's definitely a good fib level to bounce at. Why am I mentioning Theta, BTC? Because it's where a lot of alts are right now that are having a hard time against Bitcoin. Been a lot of volatility. I mean, oh my goodness, but if you could trade these swings, you'd be good. But what I would say is it's been above the 200 moving average recently. Now it's going below. Now it's challenging it. This is just all over the place. I'm just showing this because, man, Theta is if you were really an aggressive, in and out trader here on the 45-minute chart, and you caught some of these, you could do quite well. These pumps and dumps here. All right, that's what I mentioned, ADA, BTC, because the thing is, we are seeing that we got above the 200 moving average way back here on the November 21st. We've had a lot of volatility since then, but we have been able to stay above the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart, except for once we did bounce off of it. So now it's all about which way is it going to go. If we saw directional index turn green, if we saw the ADX get above 25, if we saw this RSI turn positive, if we could see this KRI turn green, if we can see some good upwards momentum, I mean, if we get back to where we have pumped to before, that could be 25%. So ADA, BTC, interesting coin, one to watch. It is low sat value. I don't always like playing playing ones that are so low. I like to be over 1,000 at least, just because they got room to move in the sat levels without kind of, who wants to trade, a a coin that's 6 sats. Of course, this one isn't, but you know, even I'd say below 1,000 is kind of a tricky play for me. I don't like playing those, but anyway, the sucker's got room to move if it starts moving. So watch, we might see a bounce off the 200 moving average, or we might continue moving up. Let's check it out. ADA, BTC, interesting play, one to watch. Venezuela ramps up Bitcoin payments for imports from Turkey and Iran. Basically, when an economy falls apart, when there's sanctions, when there's hyperinflation, when there's social unrest, I mean, whatever, what comes to the rescue? Bitcoin. People start using it. Countries that have issues are starting to do that. I tell you what, I just predict, that's all, not financial advice, just, you know, I'm not a professional psychic, nor am I a professional financial person, but I'm telling you, when a country's economy truly fails out there and they just go, screw it, we're Bitcoin, that's it. You know, we are now a crypto economy. That's going to change the world overnight. So Venezuela, you know what? Don't be so surprised if they become a crypto economy, or maybe some of the other countries that are doing what they're doing. You may like those countries, you may not like them, but when they actually switch to a Bitcoin economy, which they're already doing, but it's gradual. But when they just make that switch, they go, you know what? Whatever the Venezuela currency is, when they go, it's done. Right? We're not even going to bother with it anymore. We're going Bitcoin. Woo! All right. Insurance firm MassMutual buys 100 million worth of Bitcoin through New York Dig, whatever. Grayscale, 266 million, 50 of Bitcoin, 58 million of Ethereum. Why am I mentioning that? I'm mentioning these because, okay, note MassMutual, they bought a bunch of Bitcoin. Grayscale, of course, is buying Bitcoin. Also note that they are now definitely starting to pump up their Ethereum purchases. I say that because of this. What Mr. Tyler Winklevoss said. He said, also, you have publicly traded companies like Square and MicroStrategy putting their treasury cash into Bitcoin because they're worried about the oncoming inflation and the scourge of inflation with all the money printing in the stimulus from the COVID pandemic lockdowns. And if you do look at that dollar strength index, it has been nothing but dump recently, with a bit of sideways very recently. So, with that said, I mean, there you go. This is Bitcoin Daily View. I'm really enjoying seeing this beautiful bounce off an expected location on the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. Let's look at that 45-minute chart one more time before we go. Where is it doing? Oh, look at that. Yep. It's finding a little bit of resistance there at the 314 moving average. I'll see you guys again soon. This is December. It's a crazy month here at the household. I will make videos when I can. Take care.